making a place. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, they working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.
What's going on, everybody? We are here on Real Talk on this Thursday, the first Thursday without football in a long time. So we got some basketball on. Boston is playing Dallas. Chris, how do you feel about this game so far?
Watching it, I'm looking at Boston bench, and they're doing something that I haven't seen them do in a while, and that's actually playing up to expectations. For a while, for a couple game stretch, when you watch Boston this year, it's just their two stars really carrying the load. They're both averaging 25 plus. They're both having career years, but their bench wasn't able to put, strong runs together. And right now, you got 10 for Grant Williams off the bench. You got 11 from Brogdon, which everybody kind of expected him to do already. So I'm glad I'm seeing that from Boston's bench. And then when I look at the Mavs, I mean, Luka's finally getting some help, but sadly, it's not enough. You got 12 and 10 from Wood already. You got 18 from Dinwiddie. Tim Hardaway just has to get going, but they have no bench scoring. One thing about the Mavs, I mean, you have Kemba off the bench, but he barely gets paid. He barely plays. They really have no bench scoring. I think that's going to hurt them in the long run. But Boston's up 14 right now. It's a good game. Hopefully, Luka, does some miracle stuff so we can get a great fourth quarter.
Well, I appreciate that analysis. I thought you were going to talk about your parlay.
Oh, no, I'm not. I'm not going to make this the parlay segment. I'm going to wait until I don't want to put no bad mojo in the air. But if you want me to talk about my parlays, listen. Jaylen Brown, I need you to get some buckets. Tatum, I need you to keep getting. Oh, Jaylen Brown hit a 3. Oh yeah, I need him to score 10 more points. Just 10 more points. I don't even want the 25. Just give me the 20.
They might can get 10. Tatum's at 16, Brown's at 10.
I mean, I think they can do it. Like, I'm glad that their bench is playing like this, but usually, especially if Brown doesn't get any foul trouble, I see him playing majority of third quarter, honestly, to get some rhythm for the fourth.
I think what you got to fight against is the blowout, because if they don't make a run, Boston might not put their starters, and Tatum he shot an air ball, man.
Yeah, Tatum's been shooting a lot of air balls. One thing I will say though. Luka, he was having some breathing trouble, and he's already had 4 fouls. And without Luka, I mean, Dinwiddie's playing good, but without Luka, I wouldn't be surprised if it does get turned into a blowout.
Yeah, I know they were saying he's not sick. They said he got hit in the chest.
A shot in the chest. I didn't see it, but as much as contact he has, throughout I wouldn't be surprised if he got hit in the chest. But yeah, without Luka, I mean, this is the best I've seen Dinwiddie play in a while. But without Luka, it's just like, how good can this Mavs team really be?
All right, so I'm with you on that. I am, but let me say this: Tim Hardaway Jr. just isn't good enough. Like, we've talked about the different opportunities. What's going on, sir? Appreciate the love, fam. But if he's giving you 5, he's 1 of 7, 1 of 4. Reggie Bullock has 0 points in 27 minutes. Tim Hardaway has 5 points in 27 minutes. I don't know why JaVale McGee's not getting no run. Like, I think we're going to have an active trade deadline.
For the Mavs especially.
The Mavs going to need some work. The Lakers might need some work. Toronto got some pieces. It's a lot of teams with a lot of pieces. Kyle Kuzma, he said he don't want to be there, so – even though the team is playing better. So I am looking forward to this here trade deadline.
To speak on the Mavs real quick, though, they do have some key guys that are injured right now. That does hurt. But, how much does that really change their team? That's what I got to ask myself. I mean, yes, you're missing about 2-3 guys. You move a Christian Wood to the bench. But I still think you need a playmaker. You need a ball handler coming off the bench.
I like Christian Wood starting. He's been playing really well, but we do have some breaking news from Adam Schefter. You heard it here first. The NFL announced that the Week 17 Buffalo Bills at Cincinnati Bengals game will not be resumed.
Whoa.
And has been canceled.
Whoa.
That's major. So they haven't said what the next step will be based on that. I know they were talking about removing the AFC teams bye and just adding an 8th team as an option. But they didn't want to have the NFC playoff one weekend and the AFC the next, because that would cut off the break between the championship and the Super Bowl. So I guess we'll wait and see how this plays out, but it is confirmed by Adam Schefter that the game has been canceled. With that being said, we do want to update and let you guys know that Damar Hamlin is recovering well from all accounts. He is speaking, and I'm sorry, he's not speaking. He's writing. He's sitting up. He has extremity movement. And the belief is he can make a full recovery. So the timeline has not been released. But for those of you who were with us on Monday, obviously, shocking moment, shocking situation. We worked through it, but definitely prayers to him. Shout out to the Buffalo Bills fans and others who have ran up his charity. Top that up. I think it's up to like $7.5 million, and it started at like 15 grand or something really small. So definitely a lot of good coming out of this. But Chris, I talked to you, Dev. What do you think of the game so far tonight? You think Dallas has anything left, or is this over?
Nah, it's over. It's over. Dallas won't have it. Dallas is one of them streaky teams, man. If Luka is not coming out throwing up 40, Dallas ain't got no chance, man. Dallas, Luka always needed a second star. That's been Luka's thing ever since he came into the league. They tried Kristaps Porzingis. They tried trying to keep Tim Hardaway, but he always come up with an injury here and there. Now they got Christian Wood. It is like Luka can't do it all. And I think we was talking about this on the last show. Bench scoring is a must in the NBA now. If you don't have a bench, then you don't really have a team. You have no chance of winning the championship. And that's going to be Dallas' downfall. Like you said, JaVale McGee is on the team, but that was Dallas' downfall. They didn't have a big man that can control the paint and control that defensive chain, and everybody was just pretty much scoring on Dallas in the paint. So it looked like Dallas didn't clean that up. As far as the trade deadline, I don't know who Dallas can really go get that can help Luke out right now.
You don't think a Pascal Siakam or somebody like that wouldn't help?
How you gonna pull off a Pascal Siakam, though? I mean, that's
you don't have nothing
Toronto
good trade value to give up for him.
Dallas ain't got no picks.
Nah, like my thing. I don't think so. I mean, my thing with Dallas is, I feel like you had with Christian Wood, Dinwiddie, and Tim Hardaway. I think when you get back, you got 2-3 guys that are injured right now. You got a 3-and-D wing, and you got a stretch 4, stretch 5. They need somebody with Christian Wood to come off the bench that could really be that third ball handler. When you have Dinwiddie, you have Luka, you need one more guy off the bench. To me, I don't know if they necessarily need that second huge star because they got enough pieces and they need the depth. So I don't want to give up too much of their depth, and then it's the same problem.
I hear you. I don't know what the solution is. Unless you trading picks, then you trading players. And if you're trading players, then you got to get something back. Obviously, the Lakers may be selling at the deadline. There might be some opportunity to go get a piece there.
What piece does the Lakers have to get?
I mean, Austin Reeves has played well this year. Russ has revitalized his trade value, in my opinion. I think it was one game, so you don't want to overreact. But the bench players look decent when they don't got AD and LeBron on the court. I mean, like they're allowed.
You know who's honestly a good big man, like quality starter? Thomas Bryant.
We had him in DC. I'm a fan.
Yeah,
I like Thomas
Bryant. Did he get hurt with y'all, if I'm not mistaken? He got hurt at Washington? When he tore his me up?
He was in and out a good amount, to be honest. But when he played, he was solid and he constantly improved.
I'm a fan of his. I think he's a good center in the league. If they got Jalen, see their bench is so deplete. Do they have a Jalen Hardy in a game? No, he's a young fella I would like to see get some burn.
Okay, hold on. We got a special guest, ladies and gentlemen. The gentleman that I did, in fact, mention because I was so disappointed in his
Yes, we
fandom.
came from you, Mr. Flip Flop fan.
And I wish I knew you were going to come in the playoffs. I would have screenshotted the post where he was congratulating and cheering on the Giants. Where I failed to see was a Freddie Henderson post about the Los Angeles Rams and Baker Mayfield and Cam Akers. So that's all I'm saying. You shouting out teams that you turned your back on. It's one thing to just say, oh, they had a good season. It's another. I was a fan of y'all. I was so disgusted by y'all that I turned my back on y'all, thumbed my nose at you, and now I'm gonna shout you out. I just don't.
We've been tricked. We've been backstabbed, and we've been quite possibly bamboozled.
That's what I feel. Just to give everybody a quick update, I don't know if the Grizzlies were blowing out the Magic. It's now an 8-point game with 3 minutes left.
That's why the Magic are so tricky. They're so tricky.
Paolo got 30 tonight, getting buckets. Ja at 29, Jaren Jackson at 27.
That's what I expect from Jaren Jackson. To me, he's a guy that should be a perennial all-star, and I think he doesn't play up to his expectations.
Now,
Freddie, let's not do that, Freddie. You were a Packers fan, and then last year I came back, and then you were rooting for the Rams in the Super Bowl. I was so lost and disturbed
because he was originally from California.
My friend, I have the original screenshots of when you switched up from Giants to Packers to Giants, back to the Packers. Let's not do this. Then I came back, and you're a Rams fan?
We'll get to boxing later. Ray stands and fight. I put one foot in the center of the ring, and I just box circles around y'all. I'm
passing the ball.
Not punching like that.
I got mics, I got stuff. I ain't trying to knock everything over. I can't be too aggressive. I ain't crazy. But let's get into it. Now that I had a question of should they actually we can still ask. Now that we know that the game has been canceled, was this the right decision? Dev, I'll start with you.
I say yeah. Keep the momentum going because it seems like Buffalo couldn't get that mojo back. It seemed like the air got taken out of them, and I was seeing quotes that the Bengals was pretty much saying whatever Buffalo wanted to do, that's what we was going to do. They wasn't going to hold Buffalo up to it, and it seemed like Buffalo couldn't get their mind right. Which is understandable, and I totally get it. And like I keep saying on the last episode that if your mind is not fully into it, then you shouldn't be on that field because that's where more injuries can pile up. And careers can be on jeopardy. So I think it's the right move. It's a little confusing now with dealing with the 1 seed, and it shows like that these teams care less about being the 1 seed, and they was more caring about Damar, which was a great thing and a great feeling that as people supporting it's bigger than the game. So if they keep the same energy like that, then I'm pretty sure Buffalo and Cincinnati potentially see each other down in the playoff line, and they can go ahead and hash it out right there.
So, and I understand that. I do.
Mike going off, ain't it?
But Buffalo right now is at 12-3. Cincy's at 11-4. Buffalo's the 2. Cincy's the 3. Kansas City is obviously the 1. They get the Raiders, who are in dysfunction. So I think they should lock up the 1 seed.
Is Kansas City going to play everybody though? It's like
I think you have to confirm to make sure you win. Buffalo gets the Patriots at home,
and it's like but now you look at these two teams. Do these two teams play everybody now, or do you just play the first half? Because like I said, it seems like Buffalo is not fully into it, or at least they wasn't in a rush to play against Cincinnati.
Yeah. I
You
don't
know,
know.
it's like now because now we just need to see what the lineups is going to be.
So
If
what?
Buffalo is not starting nobody, then it seems
there's-
like Buffalo just say we go and take whatever seed we ever land and we'll go from there.
And from what the reports I'm hearing is someone who has Josh Allen, as I told you off camera, and he messed up my championship. And it's not him, but let's be real, stuff matters. And Kenny, I would have been good with that. And Mike's Mike gonna be Mike. I love it. I think that would have been fair. And so here's my question. I'm glad you Kenny brought this up because that was where I was going. So what now is the standard? So if a player gets hurt, gets ambulanced off the field, like what is the precedent that was just set? And I know that's insensitive. I know that's a terrible thing to say, but we live in a real world where real people make real decisions. So when you make this decision, now you got to be consistent because his injury was life-threatening. Is that the standard? Like, what is the new standard of when games get canceled, stopped, rescheduled? Like, what's the criteria? Chris, I'll start with you.
I think it has to be life-threatening. I do want to get to Anthony's comment in a second, but
Yeah,
I feel like if it's a broken leg or like I think it has to be life-threatening. Even it's hard to even put that in the atmosphere. But I think in order for like a game that was funny.
Mike is going off.
Mike is going off. In order for a game to really get canceled like that, the emotions have to be high. And sadly, the only thing that's going to get everybody that emotional is truly a life-threatening, once in a lifetime type of injury on the field.
So, and I'm good. I'll rock with that. Go ahead, Dev. Your thoughts.
I'm sorry, I was reading Anthony comments.
It's similar, but just like, what do you think is the new criteria? Do you think they're going to put something on paper? Because this, like to you guys' point, it was really driven by the players. So I just feel like that's a super slippery slope. But now that we're here, what do you think it will be the new criteria for when they would or wouldn't stop a game?
Most definitely, I had to agree with Chris. More had to be in that life-threatening, something that we just witnessed not too long on Monday. Because I believe broken bones are expected in tackling football. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's hate to say it, but it's like you would kind of expect a broken bone more than a cardiac arrest in football. You know what I mean? So I think it would have to be in the and I think this is what the NFL is going to be talking about all summer now. Dealing with the concussions and now dealing with the Damar situation. It's gonna most definitely have NFL buzzing this whole summer. And now can we look at this league as a player league now, as how we look into the NBA, how the players pretty much run the league. Now can the NFL can say we can trust our players to say, because if you can trust our players to say, look, we can't play with this emotional state on our hand, it's like, now can you trust these players to say, look, coach, I can't play I got concussion symptoms now, because that's what the NFL is starting to look for. And if players can actually speak up and tell, like, look, I can't play what I got dealing with concussion symptoms. I'm dealing with family issues, or stuff like that. I'm dealing with mental illness. I think that would help the league more, and now the league can trust the players a little bit more, and it won't just be an owner's league.
That's very utopian. I
know.
I don't think for 1 second they really care about how these players feel or what they're going through, because I don't know if y'all saw, and I forget the gentleman's name, I meant to write it down, but he had a nice little 5-minute rant on basically the lack of non-guaranteed contracts and pensions and all that, and the way the NFL has structured and actually lessened what they're paying some players from what it used to be. So I, for one, do not think the NFL gives two flips about the players' feelings. I think they made the best PR decision that they could in the moment. And I think for me, I think they overcompensated. I obviously have never been in that situation, but at this point, things seem to be better. I feel like they could have rescheduled it for now they play Saturday, so you couldn't really do it Thursday. I don't know. I think I said the night up, I would have been comfortable once we knew he was alive to go play. If the players couldn't play, then it's hard to argue that, but man, I think it's going to be interesting to see what happens going forward. And God forbid, I hope we don't have another situation like this. But I think it did set to Kenny's point, and you guys' point, a different kind of precedent going forward. Anthony said it's not the same, but when I agree. That's where I went. But I guess the thing is they were able to get him up off the field. They didn't have to do CPR. The CPR part is crazy. Like I feel has been kind of underreported. Like they said Bill's medical staff saved his life. Like he could have died on the field if it wasn't for the Bills medical staff. So shout out to them.
They said he was working on him for like 8 to 9 minutes until the actual paramedics actually came.
So that was a lot. For those of you who believe in a higher power like I do, thank God that this situation has turned out different. Because you want to talk about not only bad press, but just change the narrative, change on like football would, I believe, change. Like you thought it was bad at the CTE. I was a little concerned. A 24-year-old having a heart attack like that don't seem good. So I don't know if there's maybe underlying medical conditions. I'm not going to ask if he got the vaccine or not, but you know that's just a little different. He should be in peak health condition, so that's unfortunate. And hopefully, if there's something underlying, they can remedy that.
Maybe it was something that it was just missed. You know what I mean? Because these players go through physicals and stuff like that, and maybe it was just something that they just overlooked. You know what I mean? Because it's kind of hard to find an irregular heartbeat. Just especially if it's not going to appear right when your physical is happening. You know what I mean? It could have happened right before he went to his physical, and and then his heart got right back on regular beat. It's just a weird situation all the way around.
I agree. And just a quick update for those of you who may or may not be gambling on the Mavericks game. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown both started the fourth quarter. Jaylen Brown.
We just need them for 20 points. Brown got 20. I mean, Tatum got 21. I just need Brown to get 8 points, man, so I can rest easily.
Yeah, and Tim Hardaway, he's just so bad, bro. He might become my new target because it's just so frustrating to watch.
I don't think he fit in Dallas' system.
I don't think he's that good. I think that's it. He's not become what he was supposed to become. He's not a consistent shooter. He hasn't developed his game to be able to score off the dribble the way he needs to. Like, he's a one-dimensional player, and if he's not shooting well, what does he do?
Yeah, I need him Dallas to start shooting well so it don't become a blowout. Like, what are we doing
And
here?
Luka's not in the game. Just so I don't know where the scoring is going to come from, but yeah, we'll see. It's almost a 30-point game with 9 minutes left. So they was talking about Tatum triple-double watch. That's dead. I don't think he's going to get 4 more assists, but we will see.
Brown. and Brown
I just need him to kick it at Brown. I just need him to kick it at Brown so Brown get 8 points.
He kicked it to Brogdon. I'm sorry. But that does lead to the next part of this. And we kind of touched on it at the end of the show, but it definitely kind of grew legs on the Undisputed with Skip and Shannon, who have been at odds for quite some time. A lot of rumors that this is their last year together of their deal. I thought they just signed the contract. So, that's tough. But Skip Bayless did put out a tweet. Depending on what side you're on, you either thought people just misread it, or you think like Terrell Owens is the most disgusting thing ever. So before I give my opinion, I do want to get you guys' thoughts. Now that we have some time to process the tweet, I can find it if y'all need a reminder. But now that things have settled a bit, how do you feel about Skip Bayless's tweet? I'll start with you, Chris.
Are we talking about the original tweet from the incident?
Yeah.
Oh, my thoughts didn't change. As somebody that tweets 24/7 outlandish things, I obviously believe that you read before you read what you put out there. You know, it's Skip tweets more than college students. Skip just loves Twitter.
He do.
So I think if he puts something out there, he's well versed in the social media world where he knows what he's putting out to the world. Can I understand what he meant where he's trying to say, yes, I mean, this game has huge implications. Now that they're deciding to cancel it, I mean, what's going to happen with the playoffs, not on the AFC side, but on both sides? Could you understand his mindset? Sort of, kind of, but to kind of just dismiss this huge once-in-a-lifetime injury that we've never seen happen before in the field, that was one of the scariest things that we happened. He kind of made it feel like it wasn't important, like it wasn't a human being's life on the line. He kind of dismissed it. So I mean, I'm standing on this. The tweet was wrong. The tweet was wrong. He made it seem like I said earlier, that the guy's life. I keep saying the guy. I don't want to mess up his name. I keep saying his name wrong. That's why I'm saying the guy. No disrespect, but he keeps saying it. Make it seem like his life wasn't important. He should have came out and said prayers for so and so before you said anything about the NFL.
Fair enough. And I would have to check the order because he did say he prayed for him. I don't know if that was before.
If I'm not mistaken, that's Jaylen Brown missing shots. But if I'm not mistaken, that was after all of that.
You may be right. I just was trying to do, and now it's been a couple of days. So, and he tweeted a ton.
Okay, Dallas making a comeback. I see y'all down 22.
So I was trying to find.
Standing on the tweet was wrong. The tweet was all the way wrong. As a guy that's been well versed in journalism and social media world, he knows the implication. He knows how important what he says is to the world. And so for him to come out and say that was very insensitive. And I just want to zoom in right there on my guy's dev screen because he's saying it all in just a lot fewer words than I am.
And to your point, yes, he did not. He started with, I've seen so many horrific injuries suffered on football fields, yet never have I seen a reaction like this. In every other situation I witnessed or covered, the game always went on fairly quickly. The attitude was, hey, that's football. For these players, this was different. And then the tweet came about, no doubt, the NFL is considering postponing, but how? This late in the season, a game of this magnitude is crucial to the regular season outcome, which suddenly seems so irrelevant. So I did want to dig a little deeper, and I'll start with you, Dev. What exactly do you feel, or what part of that was really, I guess, insensitive or butthole-ish to you?
When he said, I can't believe that the NFL was thinking about postponing. I might not got the right words of what he's saying, but it's like how, like, I understand the that one seed. I understand when you're a sports junkie, man, and you just dying to see who's gonna get that one seed. You know what I mean? Which teams are gonna perform, which team. I get all that, but for you to actually worry about if the game gonna get postponed, or you just knew that it was gonna rub people the wrong way. Everybody looks for the negative and everything that everybody says. You know what I mean? We always try to find the silver lining of it. And Skip, if he did journalism for this long, and you know how people just look for negativity in everything you say, because Skip was almost up there in the top 10 most hated guy in the world. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure that he knows that for these amount of years I have he's been doing journalism. And for him to feel like he wasn't wrong, like I said, your First Amendment, you can say whatever it is you want, however you want to, when you want to. But for you to think about the game, that game was no longer in the people's mind anymore. You know what I mean? We was all worrying about Damar, like, wow. We was we were still stuck in this moment. Like, we never seen this happen before. You know what I mean? It's like, how did we process this? And I think Skip tweeted, his tweet was just at the wrong time for real. You know what I mean? People were still trying to process. People were still trying to figure out was the play dirty? Should he been on the field in the beginning? It was a lot of questions. And I think it was just butthole of him to actually put the tweet out at that particular time. Now, after we didn't probably would have seen that the NFL canceled the game, postponed the game, and players walked off the field, maybe he could have been like, wow, well, what's going on? Stuff like that. But I just think, in this day and age, you got to watch what you say. It's not how you say it, it's just when you say it at that time of saying it. You know what I mean? I just think that while people were still trying to process of what's going on, Skip just came in, swooped, like, whoa, Skip, hold on, man. You ain't going to let that go right past us. And then everybody just jumped on that tweet.
So you mentioned something that I think is really important. You said he's been around long enough and he knows people tend to lean and go to the negative.
Mm-hmm.
Is that his responsibility or people's responsibility?
I think it was both parties' responsibility because, like I said, it just at that time we were still trying to process what was going on, and while we still trying to process what was going on, we was too busy trying to also process what Skip was trying to say also. So, like I said, I just think at both parties, it was just wrong timing, for both parties.
Okay. Chris, your thoughts? Oh, well, you said that you thought it wasn't good, but I guess my question is, what part or what aspect of it did you feel it was wrong?
I kind of want to say the whole tweet because the whole tweet, I remember when you first read it, my first initial reaction was, does he even care about the life at stake, or does he only care about football? We're all sports junkies, right? So we all love sports. We all love watching sports, but we all understood. And I remember exactly live how all our reactions were. This life is more important than this football game. And it just felt like the first time hearing you read the tweet, Skip does not care about the life. He only cares about the football game. Now, was anything he said wrong football-wise? No, but football wasn't important at the time. And so, are a lot of people really going after him? They are. I bet if it was Brady injured, he wouldn't have said that. You might be right.
I think that's the first time we all might be agreed to.
You might listen. You might be right. You might be right, but I think with Skip, I think he was wrong for saying that. I don't think he meant any ill will, because I don't think Skip is a bad person. But I think what he said was wrong.
That's fair. And a quick update: Dallas is on a 19-6 run.
Yes,
we have ourselves a 15-point game.
Yes,
I said Jason Tatum would not get a triple double. He's 2 assists away now.
I know Jason Tatum keeps shooting
but now he's shot on the last 2 possessions. So.
I know. I need 6 points from.
I don't know if it's interesting or not, but the Utah Jazz and the Houston Rockets has the 1-point lead.
That's the game that I faithfully watch, because those are 2 teams that. I mean, the Jazz started off hot, and everybody had these expectations for the Jazz. I said they will cool down.
Yeah, Houston Rockets got about 1 right now.
They got a lot of pieces if they wanted to really build and pull a OKC Thunder. I mean, they got pieces that a lot of you talking about teams. You talking about like who would do something at the deadline. I know Lauri Markkanen, his price might be through the roof.
He's cooked. He's been cooking up.
Jordan Clarkson and Malik Beasley, I think, are the top 3 guys that look out for. They're going to cost a lot. Yeah, he did say something smart.
Alley-oop to Jaylen Brown.
Woo!
One more assist. That triple double.
And Jaylen Brown need 4 more points.
All right, don't spoil it though, because I'm not watching. I just got ESPN up. Don't spoil it no more, please. I beg of you.
Say less. I mean, you ahead of me anyway. The app is ahead of the stream, but and the Mavericks look like they're about to empty their bench, and that's the last update I'll give. So I hear everything y'all are saying, and I don't really disagree with much of anything, but I don't really understand the outrage. We was all like, what the heck is the NFL about to do now? Like, and they don't seem to have a plan. So I feel like the question is valid in that, like, the timing, I 100% get. Like, that's not the time you want to pray for them. You want to send your condolences, your thoughts, and your prayers first. 100%, I'm with y'all on that. But for people that say, like, Terrell Owens went on, I forget what show it was, and said that was the most disgusting, disturbing tweet I've ever read. Relax.
Yeah, I ain't going that far.
Elon Musk bought Twitter, and the N-word went through the roof. There's so much hate speech and hate in general. When you start saying stuff like that, I feel like you undermine your argument.
I agree.
Skip has done so much for Black people. To say because you felt his tweet was insensitive, he should lose his job. Do you understand the value he holds at FS1? If he's gone, there is no show. We've seen them try and put in replacements here and there, and I promise you the ratings ain't what they want them to be. I'm more upset by the reaction of people. I get it. It was insensitive. But this hyperbole and this, he's the worst person. He's the most hated. Like, do y'all look at the world? Do you know what Russia and Ukraine are going through? You know what's happening in North Korea? Like, when y'all make these statements, like, there's human trafficking going on every day. People are dying in inner cities every day. Like, the government funded the drug trade that destroyed Black communities. Like, when y'all start saying this crazy stuff in the moment, y'all lose me. Now, should he have apologized? Maybe. But he came
Jalen Brown. He need one more point, I think.
And this is what I respect.
Please don't spoil it for me. Don't spoil it for me. I beg of y'all.
Something just happened, and I think I know what's going to happen. And I ain't going to say nothing.
Please, I beg of y'all.
I ain't gonna say it either. I ain't gonna say it either.
And nobody, let's just. Oh my!
Yeah. You might as well go ahead and tuck yourself and go to bed, Chris.
But that's just my thing. Like the professional athletes specifically, and then Shannon Sharp to just not come to work over that tweet. Like, and then here's the other part that really, now I am curious y'all opinion on this.
Shannon Sharp didn't come to work.
No, he didn't show up. He wasn't on the show Tuesday.
I thought those two kind of got into it or was that Wednesday?
That was Wednesday.
Okay.
So he didn't show up Tuesday, and Skip was like, so Skip thought it was dead. Shannon Sharp come in his monologue and start shooting at Skip, saying, I hope Skip would take it down. Like, and then when Skip said, no, I'm not, and cut him off, they jumped on Skip. I'm like, you came in here. Skip said he thought we weren't going to talk about it. You bring it up and you publicly put a target on him by saying, I think you should take it down. What you think Skip going to do? We know Skip. What was expected in his response? Fire and brimstone. That's who he is. So I get people's frustration to a certain extent, but fortunately, Damar is healthier. He seems to be on the road to recovery, barring any kind of setbacks. Again, shout out to all the medical people that helped in this process. For people that know me outside of this show, I am not a fan of healthcare, but they got the job done. They did an excellent job. But I really wish we did better in the moment. But speaking of a moment, unless you guys have something else, Dana White, ladies and gentlemen.
Uh-oh.
I didn't know that the UFC had started men versus women fighting. But Dana White gave us an exclusive of the new version of the UFC we're going to see, where
What do you mean by that?
I'm going to tell you, the wife is going to slap the husband, and then the husband is going to slap the wife. Back to reality. Now, I remember an incident in Vegas, and there was a young man. He played running back for a team that's in the background of Dev's video.
What the hell?
And in that moment, he was assaulted first, the man. And he responded with force. And the fight was over. So he lost his career. Who was it, Reese? Davante Davis. We'll get to this in a minute. When they thought he beat that girl and that kid, they arrested him. I don't know that Dana White has been arrested, and there's video of the assault. 2, there was concerns about, oh, wow, I don't know what just happened. I got to update this. Adam Schefter says the Bengals now are the AFC champs. So we were trying.
AFC champ. Hold up. They got more conference wins than the rest of the guys?
All right, I'm going to read off a couple tweets that just came through. So again, this is breaking. If the Chiefs lose Saturday and the Bills win Sunday, the Bills are the number 1 seed. So no neutral sites then would come into play, and Buffalo would get the bye. That's the first tweet. It's like 4 of them. Potential neutral sites for a possible AFC championship game have not yet been determined. A number of options are being discussed. NFL never considered an 8th playoff team being added to each conference. Well, Adam, you reported that. The Bengals now are the AFC North champs, and that ref hits. That's a joke. So I'm not sure. Hold on. Per the NFL, if Baltimore defeats Cincinnati on Sunday, and if those 2 clubs are scheduled to play a wild card game against each other, the site for that game would be determined by a coin toss. I'm not understanding why.
With that. If we beat the Bengals twice this year. Yeah, I'm not understanding that narrative.
There's no context, but I don't understand why the Bengals win the AFC North. So maybe we'll get more information on that part, but
I don't, because I think either we beat them on Sunday. I think they still have a better division win than us, if I'm not mistaken. Because I know we lost to the Browns, we lost to the Steelers.
Okay, we'll take it. Kenny, I completely disagree. As someone who used to watch Undisputed every day, I stopped recording and watching every day because
I stopped watching that show like 3 years ago.
No, it was solid, and I ain't gonna lie, it ain't really Skip that was my issue. To be honest, it was really the Kyrie situation and how both of them handled it. It was a lot for me, and I just couldn't do it. But they regularly interrupt each other in their monologues. Like, that's normal on that show. I will say, in my opinion, Skip tends to interrupt more, but that's because Shannon be shooting. And as a man, given the circumstances in this situation, if you come on national TV, I don't care nothing about your monologue. When you say it, sit across from me, and for whatever reason, Skip believed they wasn't going to talk about it, and you bring it up, and then you say you wish I would take the tweet down. Oh, no, I got something to say. Your monologue can wait on my show. It's our show, but it's really my show. Let's not get that confused either. So if you're going to start trying to paint me away, I'm ready for you. That's my 2 cents. That's how I operate. Other people are different, but they interrupt each other all the time. So that I'm not really surprised either way by that part. But yeah, back to Dana White. So your thoughts on the smackdown that Dana White put on his wife? And I'm not I don't want to. I guess is the real thing.
Oh my goodness, that
too
was
late. Too late. Too late.
That
You
was-
said it. You said it.
I mean, she hit him first, so you put your
Did
hands
she
on the
smell
man.
what Dana was cooking?
And I can't wait. Jake Paul is gonna have a field day with this because he's been wilding recently. I ain't gonna talk about the last video I saw him in, but
Did you see now he got a 2-fight deal?
to like UFC or MMA or something like
One is a boxing match and one is a MMA match with Nate Diaz.
Yeah, I mean, get your money, man. That's kind of how I am with it. Whatever it takes to survive, I guess. But I don't think that is the move. I guess we can talk about it. It's related. Chris Bird, the Texas basketball coach, has been fired. He is facing felony domestic violence charges. The chick, his wife, I think it's his wife, a fiance. I'm not sure.
Fiance.
She's come out since and said, nah, it wasn't a thing. But for whatever reason, they chose to fire him today. I'm guessing they got more information. And I believe the state is still pursuing it. So yeah, that's what we got there. I don't know that they have someone in waiting. I think it's a potentially really good job. Obviously, Texas is Texas. So I will be curious to see who they hire. They've been through a lot of coaches here in recent years. But these men just got to stop beating on these women. Leave. If a woman hits you and you are the breadwinner, you are the celebrity, you are whatever, you got to go. Like, leave. She want to slap you at a restaurant, Uber home, sweetheart. But we ain't doing this. And I get ego. I definitely get ego getting slapped in a party when you you a millionaire, billionaire, and some woman thinks she's going to slap you in front of all them people and your friends or whatever. I get it. That is a lot to swallow. But you got to swallow that. Like, you just can't react that way. And I don't watch First Take or Undisputed that anymore. But just on ESPN and in general, I'm not seeing men. It's okay to call. Oh, well, as a black man, that ain't always. Let me say that. As Dana White can call the police. He probably know the police chief and the governor and the mayor. You can make some calls. I don't know if I'm calling the police, especially if a white woman slapped me. And yeah, I don't know. But
Not gonna be in the same area. I'm calling the police somewhere else.
Oh well, yeah.
I'm just gonna let them know where it happened at.
I mean, I think
ain't gonna be there.
When it's your wife, like now you press charging your wife. I'm not saying you shouldn't. I'm just saying it can make for an awkward marriage going forward, just based on society standards. Like,
it ain't an awkward marriage. Her keep putting hands on you either.
I mean, if she slapped him in public and he slapped her back in public, it leads me to believe there is a possibility that ain't the first time that's happened. I don't know that.
Definitely.
But when you that comfortable to slap each other, like, I don't know. I ain't with that at all. So, my question for you all, obviously UFC has a partnership with ESPN, but why ain't ESPN giving us the full line coverage? We don't know if there was a police report. We don't know if he was arrested. We don't know nothing other than a video that TMZ broke, and ain't nobody really covering it. So, Dev, your thoughts?
When you're a millionaire, you are allowed to sweep almost anything you want underneath the rug. We didn't seen it in multiple different situations. We just seen it with the almost the Brett Favre. We didn't almost seen it with Jerry Jones. Now we about to see it with Dana White now. You know what I mean? When you got that bread, you can go ahead and hide anything you want. You know what I mean? I don't see ESPN going to make any noise about it because they're in partnership with it. Why would they try to expose their partner? But God, like you said, man, fellas, y'all need to hear this loud and clear, man. Run. When she is abusive, you know what I mean? Run. It's not going to lead to good things, man, because I hate to say it, we see what happened to Ray Rice. We didn't see what happened to the Giants kick. I can't think of his name. Dang.
The ball dude. I can't
think of his name, but we seen what happened to him. He no longer a kicker. We seen we just seen like things don't go right when you start hitting on your women in public eye, and or if when you do it in your house and you have your security cameras on, and you just go wild and start, that stuff can be hacked, can be leaked. So it's just, man, once it get toxic, run away. There's no reason to sit there and go to jail or be criticized all over national news unless you're a millionaire and you can sweep underneath the rug. Because like Ray said, man, we ain't seeing too much noise about it. Other than TMZ, TMZ always in somebody's business. So
yeah, but that's the thing. Like, and I'll use this for an example. Y'all know I'm a Ye fan. I'm partial. That man ain't spoke up, showed up, and did nothing in almost months now. I just saw a Rolling Stone article today about people talking about how bad it was to work for him. The man been out of sight, out of mind. So y'all writing those stories about somebody there was concerns he was missing. And y'all ignoring Dana White? Y'all still ignoring Brett Favre? Like,
just like when the whole the Celtics coach was dealing with it. It was
some
the Celtics
people are
coach
above the law.
and Brett Favre story at the same time. What did everybody focus on?
We know some people above the law. Let's not.
You know what I mean? So we already seen certain stories get swept underneath the rug when there's another story going on.
And y'all think so? I guess here's the question: as a personality, if you know your value to an organization, you don't feel the need to speak on it? Because I watched them kill Kyrie for weeks on weeks. And Stephen A. and them ain't had no kind of smoke for Dana White or Brett Favre or even Aaron Rodgers, who flat out lied. I didn't forget that either. He flat out lied about getting vaccinated. And somehow now he's the hero. Go ahead.
I was going to say
they was going to let him opt back. They're talking about giving him an extension because he played well.
Listen,
go ahead.
It feels like these guys on TV have an agenda that has to get pushed. They are being told what to say or what not to say, what to talk about, what not to talk about, how far to go on this player, whether to cool out on this guy or go crazy on this guy, make him look bad. And it just shows story after story, incident after incident. It just shows how much I'm not even going to go too deep. It just shows the craziness of what reporters really want to report on, and who they want to report on versus who they don't want to report on. Because I just watched the video. He really smacked. It's on TMZ. He smacked her in the face. Even though she hit him first, he blatantly smacked her in the face. This is an owner of $1 million company that has a partnership with ESPN.
And a whole bunch of
nothing's going to happen. But oh my goodness. I bet you if Michael Jordan was to smack a female on camera, you know how fast they would make.
I got one way better than you right now. I guarantee you, if LeBron was to do something like this, my goodness, I guarantee you,
it would be on ABC.
It will be on political TV. It will be on sports TV. It will be on fishing TV. It will be on
HGTV.
It will be on real estate TV. It will be on everything. Just to bash LeBron, man.
I mean, we saw the difference in how they handled Robert Kraft and Deshaun Watson. And the situations ain't exactly the same, but they ain't super different either. One person was blatantly doing illegal stuff, and another person is to be determined.
The other person had their own team helping them do some crazy stuff.
Hey, man, wait, not too much on Deshaun now. Not too much on Deshaun. But yeah, it's just it's just another reminder of how corrupt the system is. These sports people, and that's why it be hard for me because everybody like, oh, Skip disrespected Shannon. He shouldn't have did that, bro. They're all puppets. I'm not about to ride for somebody that's a puppet because when they tell you to ride on another man, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, or somebody that you don't like, you have no problem crushing them with your platform. So no, I don't feel bad when someone else disrespects you or crushes you on your platform. I'm not going to get up in arms about it. I think there's a better way to communicate it, but cover the stories. Be a journalist. That is a big deal. Owner of potentially billion-dollar organization slaps wife. Like, and there's no report. Why isn't there? Where's the mugshot? I saw Davante Davis mugshot same night.
I seen that in like an hour.
I don't got no video of Davante Davis doing anything. I watched Dana White slap somebody. Where's the mugshot? Oh, all them people around. Nobody called the cops. Nobody filed a police report. Nothing.
Man,
I ain't with it.
Because he cashed out everybody that was involved. Hold on, what's your cash app? Yeah, man, I'm gonna go ahead and give you a couple thousand real quick, man. Forget about what I just did.
We had NDAs at the door on your way out. Go ahead and take care of that.
Go ahead.
Like, come on, man.
Go ahead and get your gift bag.
This is nasty. The refusal to cover stories like this is nastier than a lot of the other stuff that Skip has said and done in the past. So I'll leave it there as we hit the top of the hour because we still got a lot to get to. Damien, Will Smith was a cult hero. But we all know that man is not putting no hands on that woman. Ever. Like, she run that. So I'm glad they've been quiet. Hopefully they stay quiet.
Man, look.
Maybe we're gonna make another slave movie. He's good for that, apparently. But
that movie was all right.
That movie was kind of good though.
One thing about Will, I ain't gonna lie, he got some bangers under his belt.
No,
that's
irrefutable.
I'm good. I ain't going to
put Denzel, Chris Rock, Will Smith, Kevin Hart, whoever you want. If it's a slave movie, I'm good. Period.
Now, don't get me wrong. I'm getting kind of not saying tired of them, but I guess you could say tired of them. But this one was kind of bigger than the slave movie. You know what I mean? It was about him being in the army and stuff like that. So it wasn't just all about slavery. If
they didn't have another scent of slavery in another movie, I'd be perfectly fine. I don't need another movie made in the 1950s and 1960s with a black lead character. We good. It's a good debate, but we ain't gonna waste time there because we got a whole lot to get to, and I know we've eaten up a decent amount of time. But we got a lot of picks to get to.
Time in the world.
Well, that's true. I ain't really got nothing to do, but we got some picks to get to wrap up our season. I'm basically on cruise control here, but I'm still gonna.
I can't wait till we get to the playoffs. That's going to determine a real winner.
We good with that. I'm good with that. We definitely gonna keep picking. But so we can put it down on paper. Oh, I guess the Monday night game don't matter since it didn't finish. For obvious reasons.
Who was Monday night? Who was Monday night again?
The Buffalo Cincy game.
The members, the Buffalo.
Oh yeah.
I had Buffalo. Well, I think Cincy was winning at the time. I was gonna try and sneak that, but that don't work either. So first game, Titans Jags. I think we talked about it at the end of last show, but let's get it on wax. Dev, who you got?
I'm gonna take the Jags. I think they hungry. I think they finally woken up a little bit, and I think Tennessee is just too banged up. Then I don't see Jacksonville going to blow them out. I think it's going to be a close game, but I most definitely see Jacksonville just because they're going to have a better quarterback play.
And just an update, the report is Derrick Henry will be active and playing.
Right.
I don't know if they've announced the quarterback yet, but
nope. I think still Josh Dobbs is leading that way, but they still haven't really made an official announcement yet.
Okay. Chris, who you got?
Jags.
Okay. We all going Jacksonville. I'm for the same way. If you haven't announced the quarterback yet, it's because ain't nobody impressed you. And that is not ideal. I do think Tennessee's at home. I'm pretty sure. So I think that will help. If this was Houston, who Derrick Henry owns, I would probably lean Tennessee, even with Malik Willis. Or
no, they in Jacksonville.
Oh, it's in Jacksonville. Oh, yeah. So I'm
Jacksonville.
However, we talked about Jacksonville. I've been big on Jacksonville majority of the year. If they lose this game, they gonna have some got to happen. You've worked too hard to get to this point to come up short. Trevor Lawrence, this is your chance.
Yeah, this is most definitely Trevor Lawrence. So he can be talked about as one of the quarterbacks coming into next year.
Yep, one of the top 20, trying to get into that top 15 rank.
Yeah, he had to start making his way up there with Joe Burrow and
I would say Herbert.
Before I say you know Burrow. What I mean. But I think Burrow is only like a year ahead of him as far as year wise, or they might have came in the same year if I'm not mistaken.
Who, Burrow and Trevor?
Yeah,
or Burrow and Herbert.
Trevor and Burrow.
They're all
they different. They different years.
Yeah, like a year apart. So
okay. Year or two apart.
What was it? It was what?
I think it's Herbert. Then it was Burrow. Then it was
Herbert, Burrow, same year.
They're in the same year with Tua.
Okay.
And then I think the next year was Burrow. No, Burrow was in that draft. Who was the quarterback? Herbert was in that draft too. Oh yeah, so they were all in that draft.
Yeah, so you know, what I mean, so that's why I was saying Trevor Lawrence wants to be into that class.
That's right.
Yeah, so if Trevor wants to be part of that class, you know, what I mean, the up and coming. So we've been talking about Justin Herbert being taking that next step all year. So I think if Trevor Lawrence can get into that conversation now to be getting that quarterback to get to that next step, that's what we Trevor Lawrence going to have to build from.
Agreed. Chris, did you have anything else to
Oh no, listen, no quarterback you believe in. As much as I love Derrick Henry, this like the ball is literally in the Jags court. There's no way you fumble this right now.
Unless they literally fumble.
Unless they literally fumble. But I'm saying, like, realistically,
in that Dallas game,
like realistically, like if I'm betting, if I was about to say if I was a betting man,
if you
I decide to bet on Sunday, I might throw a Jags money line in there because I don't believe the team that doesn't
they got my money line already.
Already?
I don't believe in Tennessee. Like y'all said, they don't have no quarterback right now.
I was trying to pull it up just to get in. Right now, the Jags are a 6.5 point favorite. So they seem real confident in Jacksonville. 6.5 points and a winner take all games a lot, especially in the division rivalry.
Any given Sunday though.
No, absolutely. I would lean on the Titans at 6.5. 7 points is a lot to win this kind of game.
Most definitely.
The over under is 40 and it's a 6.5 point spread. I would definitely probably put the money on Tennessee there, but we'll see. We will definitely see. Next game, we got the GOAT versus Atlanta. Tampa Bay did lock up the division. I don't know what starters are playing. I don't think their playoff position can move.
No, it can't.
But Atlanta's out the playoffs, and you're playing for a draft pick. So you're actually okay. Tampa must be sitting everybody because Atlanta's favored by 4. So we can probably skip that.
I wasn't going to bet anyway. I wasn't going to pick that game. I told you we skipping all Tom Brady ever since that last conversation we had. When me and Kenny had went against Tom Brady, and you came on here and I told you don't bet against the GOAT. And I said, well, how about this? I ain't bet against Tom Brady ever again.
There you go. It's simple. And like I said, I don't think they can change their position. It doesn't look like they playing their players, so we can move on from that because you never know how those games go. But we do have another game, and I will be very curious to see how Buffalo responds because this is still a big game, and they have a chance to put New England out of their misery. So we got New England at Buffalo. Chris, who you got?
I have Buffalo.
He's going Buffalo. Okay.
What this? I'm still really confused about this first seed. Does Buffalo still have a chance to get it, or is it over?
Kansas City lose, yes.
Yeah, I think somebody tweeted about that. If Kansas City loses and Buffalo wins, they can get the 1 seed.
I think Buffalo. I'm going with Buffalo. Even if not trying to say that. Of course, they win, they get in, but I think they're still going to try to go for this first seed, and I think they try to get the Patriots out here early so they can rest their guys. But I'm going Buffalo.
Okay, you got Buffalo. Dev, who you got?
I'm gonna take Buffalo as well. I think they're gonna come out and make a statement game. This is gonna be for Damar, and I think they most definitely want to get it done, and I just see this gonna be a really good emotional game for Buffalo to actually to get their feelings out. So I take Buffalo on this
one. Well, as someone who, and we'll get to in a minute, picked Buffalo to win the division, I am going New England. I think this has been a chaotic week. I think the travel schedules was all messed up before this week. They got stuck in before when they had the snowstorm. I think Buffalo's just been through a lot. And I don't know that they're all in the right mental place. I get the emotion of it, but I don't. Oh, Gucci Mane is refereeing the Jazz Houston game.
Here you go.
Fucci Mane. So I just think New England gets it done. I think Belichick will have them ready. I don't love Mac Jones, never have, but they've been playing relatively well. They've been running the ball well. I think they figure it out. I think they have way more to play for than Buffalo right now. I think Buffalo is just trying to get to the playoffs, and they'll deal with whatever comes because they still got a home game, the first game anyway. So I think they'll come out, they'll play. I will be curious to see if they play the whole game or not, but I am going New England.
Yeah, I ain't even think of that.
And then we got a good one. Another really important game, Dev. Ravens, Bengals. I think we know where Dev's going. So, Chris, I'll start with you.
Cincy. I think they're on a mission. Dev, what's going on with Lamar?
Not playing.
Okay. Listen.
Never
listen.
mind.
I was going Cincy either way.
They announced that already? I saw he hadn't practiced yet.
He haven't practiced. He haven't suited up. He haven't been to the – he's been to his rehabs and stuff like that. But as far as him being on the field, they is not looking for him so far to be playing.
Cincy, I'm going to take Cincy. Whatever the spread is, I'm going to double it. Give me Cincy all the way.
Oh, yeah. Lamar did not practice again today due to a sprained PCL.
I hope the spread is Cincy minus 14.5.
And it now has been over 1 month since he last played or practiced. It's a big game to just throw him into as well with a knee sprain.
Lamar with that check.
Nah, I told y'all from the beginning of the year I wouldn't have played if I was Lamar. Ain't no way I'd have stepped on this field if I'm Lamar. And if I got a knee issue, I'm definitely not stepping on the field so that loose knee can fool around and get torn. No, sir.
You want RG3 me?
Secure the bag.
I know we don't football, but real quick, Laurie Markey did 43 points. We got another 40-point score.
And we're gonna get to that. So I'm glad you brought that up because something is happening in the NBA. But
no defense is where happened.
We're not gonna say that now. I'm gonna save my opinion for later.
That'll work. So, with that new information, Dev, who are you picking? Pro Bowl Tyler Huntley can lead y'all?
No, I don't think so. But I'm still gonna go here. I've been doing it all year long, and I'm gonna just keep on riding the wagon until we finally break the wheels off. I'm going Ravens, man. I'm gonna pick with my heart. This is another game that. What if Cincinnati don't play everybody the whole game? You know what I mean? What if
they've already locked up the AFC North, so
right? So you know what I mean? It's like
that's true.
What else is almost that? I understand they trying to get to the 1 seed, but this is also another team that let's just get to the playoffs and we can make our noise from there.
And let me check something real quick that I think. So the Chiefs will play Saturday at 4:30. So if they win, they're the 1 seed. So that'll be out the way.
Right.
The Bills and Patriots play at 1. Oh, the Ravens and Bengals play at 1 too. So that'll be going on at the same time. I was trying to see if maybe stuff would already be decided before the game.
The 1 seed can be decided Saturday though.
Yeah, but if Kansas City lose somehow to was it Jared Stidham that came in and was lighting it up?
Yeah.
And Kansas City, the record is nice, but they ain't looked the best. They've been kind of coasting, so I don't know what to expect from them in this game. But I think the Bengals are favored by 7. It's a 7-point spread, which is a lot. That's a lot.
Got to double it.
Whew. Yeah, that's a big number, but we'll see. Buffalo's a 7-point favorite as well. They got some crazy spreads. These are some big numbers.
It seems like they feel like some teams is going to wave the white flag.
Yeah, because later on, I think are the Giants not playing their players?
I doubt it.
I read a report saying that some of their key guys might be sitting.
Okay, because it's a 14. They got the Eagles a 14-point favorite. So,
is Jalen Hurts playing?
Who knows? I hope not. Well, let me not even say that.
There's no way there's a 14-point spread with Gardner Minshew at quarterback.
I mean,
otherwise, I'm definitely betting the Giants.
Not if they sit in everybody. Actually, at this point, who knows?
Man, I think this Sunday is going to be disgusted. This Sunday is going to be wacky.
Definitely wacky. So that brings us to the Dolphins in free fall. Lost 5 in a row. I think we figured out last week Tua is not going to play. Mm-hmm. Obviously, the Dolphins need to win, and I think they need a little bit of help to get in.
They need a lot of help.
Do that.
They need New England to lose. They need the Chargers to lose.
But the Chargers are already in.
Okay.
At 10-6. It's the Patriots, Dolphins, and
the Steelers, right?
Steelers.
Okay.
And they say Miami wins tiebreak over Pittsburgh based on head-to-head win percentage. So if Buffalo beats New England, Pittsburgh, I think they play Cleveland at home, and that's also at 1 o'clock. So with that being said, who you got? And I think not Zach Wilson, the other Jets quarterback is playing, I believe. Mike White, I think, is starting.
I feel like I want to go with the Jets. I feel like the Jets defense might be a little bit more stout than the Dolphins. Because the Dolphins offense is most definitely not gonna be able to move. We seen that last week. They was not be able to move. Even they blanket Waddle and Tyreek Hill. So I can see the Jets defense trying to do the same thing because now they don't have nothing to play for. You know what I mean? I don't think they have a chance of making the playoffs anymore. So to help spoil the division rival playoff hope too, I think the Jets gonna go all in. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the Jets on this one.
Okay. Did not see that coming. But you got the Jets. Chris, who you got?
I mean, he made a good point with the Jets defense.
They solid.
Well, I'm gonna go with Miami.
Dang, I looked away. What happened? The Jazz blew the Rockets out. 131-114. Sheesh.
Yeah. That Larry marketing.
Listen, Laurie, I say he had 43. He ended up with 49.
He did 49-8 at that. Sheesh.
All right, I got one more. I got one more game.
Up a parlay. I'll say that about him.
I got one more game now. I just need the Nuggets to pull it out.
Oh man, I'm done for today.
Well, just know we're rooting for you, Dev. So let me get back to that.
Let's go Denver.
Let's go Denver.
But not the Broncos.
Yeah. Let's ride right into the ground. What is that mess? I'm going Miami. I think this is on.
They also don't know who their quarterback is either.
Listen,
that's true.
Listen,
they don't know if Teddy Two Gloves going to be able to play and grip the ball with that dislocated pinky, and we seen what Skylar Thompson was last week.
Yeah, that is true. However, they got a bunch of talent, offensively, defensively. This collapse is not getting talked about enough, and it needs to be revisited. Brian Flores situation. You brought in this new coach, got off to a hot start, but by all accounts, he's failing in the second half of this season. As a coach, as a scheme and game plan, they're not adjusting. They're not making the halftime adjustments. And Tyreek Hill was talking big trash all summer. He put up numbers, but I heard a stat today that said the Dolphins have lost more games this year, or as many games this year as Tyreek Hill lost in the last 3 years in Kansas City. So they've only lost 8 games. But that goes to speak to the greatness of what Kansas City was and has been. And y'all was 8-3, and y'all 8-8. If y'all finish this year with a losing season, we got to look at something.
Now,
I look at December.
Would this be the same situation as Nathaniel Hackett and the Denver Broncos? Is it because of the head coach, or is it because of the quarterback?
That's tough.
But I don't think he's a bad head coach. I think they just had a wacky system.
I think it took some time, but typically offenses should be getting in with all these new pieces. You would think they would get better as the year went on. And I personally,
they didn't change anything. They stayed to.
I think you got to let Tua go.
I would just go ahead and ask y'all: do you pay Tua because he was the one that had the offense when he was in? Offense looked good, but as soon as he had those absences,
but he also has played in some games where they lost 5 in a row. He wasn't hurt for all of them.
True,
and there was some winnable games in there. But then also look at the free agent class for quarterbacks. It's not it. Derek Carr will likely be the best quarterback on the market outside
Derek Carr and Jimmy G, but Jimmy G hurt. So, he ain't coming back until at least about midpoint in the season next year.
Mike White will be free. There's a couple of them, but Carson Wentz will be free. Like
after this season, nobody gonna want Carson.
They shouldn't have wanted him after last season, but here we are. And now we're starting a rookie. Like, I don't want to get.
Oh, Heineke not starting?
No, Sam Howell. We out the playoffs, so we ain't got nothing to play for because our coach didn't even know if we lose, we wouldn't make the playoffs if the Packers win. But
so you telling me nobody on y'all coaching staff knew that? Get rid of the whole coaching staff. Everybody must go. I'm with you, Ray. Everybody, the equipment management.
He's not lying. That's bad. I think move the team.
Like the president of operations, and I'm pretty sure it's a black dude. I can't remember his name. He's solid. He's made some good moves. We've drafted well, but nobody thought to say, "Hey, Ron, the goal is to get into the playoffs. We're too far down. We've won too many games to be tanking at this point. So, like, what are you doing?" And there's a couple QBs that are coming out this next draft. I don't know.
CJ Stroud, Bryce Young.
There's probably 3 or 4 that's up there. And when I look at the standings, it's the Jets have come out and said, well, they're not even that bad. Houston, Davis Mills is still in his first year or first deal. So maybe they draft a new quarterback, but the talent still sucks. Like, there's no skill position player. So I hope nobody goes there. Indy's a good one. Indy at 4-11. I think they should definitely.
Should they find a head coach first, or
actually no?
Draft?
Indy's right now is the 5th pick. So actually, some of these bad games gonna count because Arizona got 4 wins, Denver got 4 wins, and Indy got 4 wins. So if you fool around and win, you could jump up. You could fall from the Arizona is currently 3rd. They could fall to like 7th or 8th if they fool around and win their game. And they're playing. Oh, they playing the 49ers. They ain't winning.
They ain't winning unless the 49ers not playing everybody.
That offense and that system, we out here. And Denver's blowing the Clippers out. So Dev, you might have to take the lady out tomorrow night or something to treat her something nice.
Hey, it was just her birthday yesterday, man. So,
oh man, in the worst case, well, that's not what I mean. I was reading the stats. Like, congratulations, happy birthday.
No, it was worse because I'm hurting pocket wise now.
Yeah. I understand. But Houston actually plays Indy to end the year, so somebody got to win that game. And Houston currently has the 1st pick in the draft.
Oh, Houston gonna blow that. They're gonna watch that.
Listen. I had the parlay where any team scored 1 touchdown. When I tell you, listen, Houston didn't even get a first down. Listen, in Indy, what?
So Indy will end up at 5 wins, tied with. Well, the Rams are. The Rams play the Seahawks, so they'll probably.
Houston about to pull somebody out the crowd to play quarterback.
Like.
Houston gonna pull the whole. They're gonna get the whole 53-man roster out the crowd.
What?
And the Bears got to be careful too. I know Justin Fields is not playing, so they should be all right because they're playing.
He was 64 yards away from the single season record too for quarterback.
But like,
I think for rushing yards.
I think he has an arm. What y'all think?
Who?
Y'all think he can't throw?
You've kind of far away. I couldn't hear you.
You know, a lot of people I've been hearing say he can't throw the ball. I think it's the lack of receivers.
Who? Justin Fields?
Yeah.
Nah.
I'm just making sure I'm not tripping.
Arm strength. I think he needs to develop more as a passer, but I don't think he's the problem in Chicago.
Okay, just making sure I wasn't tripping.
You know who he kind of feel like the path he's on? He's on what Jalen Hurts was last year.
Yeah.
Listen,
you know what I mean?
What I said when you get that man a true number 1. Woo!
And I just think the Bears going to do something different. I think the Bears need to address that offensive line first.
They definitely address the offensive line, but it ain't like the Eagles did get hurt to number 1, but they got a heck of a tight end. They got a heck of a number 2 as well.
And that defense.
We had weapons last year. We had Davante. We had a speedster. We had more weapons than the Bears have right now. Right. I'm not going to argue that.
And Davante got better. And I think he's going to keep getting better. When y'all drafted him, I was upset because I liked him in college a lot. He a dog.
I think Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to be just like Davante.
Like that would
Marvin
be
Harrison 6'4" though.
I think the problem is so let's talk about it. We get Jalen Hurts some help. Marvin Harrison likely will be sitting there when at number 2.
I thought Marvin Harrison couldn't come out this year.
Yeah, I don't think he comes out.
Is he a freshman? Or I thought he was a redshirt.
I think he's a sophomore.
He's a true sophomore.
Okay, no good. So yeah, Justin, good luck. But there's some receivers in this offseason that should be free. Will they want to go to Chicago? Is a whole different question. Yeah, they be killing people. It'd be bad weather, and the offense ain't great. So, if I'm a receiver, you have to throw a lot of money at somebody to get them to come play in that system. Pittsburgh. We've talked about the playoff teams. I think I went Miami. Yeah. So we're good. Cleveland, Pittsburgh. I am assuming because Deshaun Watson is the future that they're going to play most everybody. And I think Cleveland would love to be the ones to ruin Pittsburgh's season. I watched Damian's on fire tonight. I forgot this man was even available. He just been kind of low key. I keep seeing him in the house party trailers. that they're definitely starting to spend the money on that. But Dave, you all right?
No.
Somebody sick?
No. I'm gonna be sick once I say my pick.
Oh.
So I just got to cover my mouth up so people can still know I'm black and purple all the way.
I got you. No facial recognition.
Yeah, no face, no case.
So I'm going Cleveland. I think they'll figure it out. I think they want to ruin, and I would think Deshaun is going to end the year on a high note. They've been playing better. He still ain't really getting it done, but him and Amari Cooper have a connection. I will admit that. Mm-hmm. They continue to put up numbers. I'm trying to check. Pittsburgh is a 2.5 point favorite at home. So that it's close game. So we'll see. But I'm going Cleveland. Dev, I'll go ahead and let you. I'm sorry. Man with the mask on his face. Who you got?
I'm gonna have to go with that black and gold team. Hate to say it, but I love Mike Tomlin, man. Mike Tomlin should be coach of the year every year as long as he's coaching the NFL.
They're 8-8. I'm sorry, I gotta change my pick because he still has the winning season streak going, right?
Yes, and
I'm picking Pittsburgh.
Yeah, and you know, what I mean, like I said, I hate to say it, Pittsburgh. I don't never want to say their name, but
if they get in the playoffs and beat y'all because Lamar don't come back, oh man,
I'm gonna be sick. Do you know how many Pittsburgh friends I have around here? I'm gonna be sick. You know my phone was still buzzing from the last game we played. They thought it was their Super Bowl, but no, I'm rooting for Mike Tomlin to keep his streak alive. And right now, once again, Pittsburgh is one of the teams that flipped that switch on at the right time. And right now, Cleveland just don't. They haven't found that switch yet. That switch is probably going to have to come next year. And you know, like we alluded early in the mid-season when Deshaun was coming back, I just think it's just too late for them. For Deshaun and the Browns to try to get some type of connection. But like you said, Amari and Deshaun has got a nice little feel for each other. I can see that in the upcoming future for them next year. But I just think Pittsburgh is going to grind it out. They've been grinding it out for the last couple of years, and I think this is going to be one of the games they grind out this year. I mean, yeah, this year too. So shout out to Mike Tomlin.
Yeah, shout out to Mike Tomlin. I don't know if y'all saw the clip when the dude was like, "Hey, Mike," and he's like, "I'm working." You just gotta love that man. Like, I know there was some issues with the Kaepernick stuff on the team and leadership, but he's solid, man. He's super solid. Chris, who you got?
Steelers all the way.
What you Philadelphia man? You born and raised or something? Pennsylvania man or something?
No, I'm just saying, like, to your credit, Mike Tomlin, like, as much as I root for the Browns, for some reason, like, Mike Tomlin just finds a way to win these games, and I'm going with the Steelers. Sadly, I didn't want to go with the Steelers, but you made me change my pick with that convincing. I'd have thought you was a Steelers fan the way you was talking about Mike Tomlin.
Yeah,
right there,
he got me to switch.
Oh man, I wish I'd have got y'all to switch.
That's the best I heard you talk about an AFC North team all year.
Yeah.
I'm like the Ravens that we don't like them. I don't like them. You know what I mean? So I will definitely hate the Steelers. They on my top of my hate list. It's like Steelers, Patriots, Bengals, Browns. Then it's like the Chiefs. Then you put the Titans. You know what I mean? All those teams.
You just hate a lot of people, a lot of teams. All right,
hey, man. You know, it's some bad blood right now. You know, we done lost to them a couple of times, and Bengals keep on being AFC North champs, and Steelers won't go away. So it's a lot of teams I gotta hate right now.
That is true. 20-point game here in Denver. Clippers have made a little bit of a run, but
let's go Denver.
Actually, it's a 23-point lead now. Kawhi Leonard is playing. He's 11 minutes, 2 points. Paul George played 6 minutes, no points.
Kawhi Leonard do not look the same right now.
He ain't looked good all year. And Skip's been reporting on it. They say Skip reported that something's wrong with the knee, and it's never going to get better. He said that a while ago from people inside. So I think based on that reporting, we'll never see that Kawhi Leonard again. And that's unfortunate because he was great. We have one last game. Detroit. Green Bay. Green Bay. And I believe, let me correct this. I keep hitting the wrong button with these fingers. And it is Sunday night, the last game of the year. Detroit will go on the road with a chance to get in the playoffs. I ask you, Chris, who you got?
I said last week I'm going Green Bay all the way. Aaron Rodgers take me home. Simple.
I thought you would sleep on it, think better of it, and you didn't. So Green Bay it is. Obviously, I am not picking Aaron Rodgers ever. So I'm going Detroit. And Dev, who you got?
Oof, this is a tough one. I low key feel like my heart is saying go with Green Bay. It's like my stomach is just saying, man, Detroit has turned that corner. Why not just go ahead and root for these guys, man? And what are you playing at?
In Green Bay, Sunday night. I don't know what the weather's going to be, but it will be Sunday in Green Bay.
I'm going with my heart. We're going to go with Green Bay. I think Green Bay is going to get that last spot on these. I just feel like Aaron Rodgers is. He felt like Tom Brady is in. He said, I got to get in too. So I'm going to go with Aaron Rodgers in the Green Bay Packers.
Okay. KCP, I believe, just pulled up on a fast break. He had somebody ahead. He could have threw the ball. He pulled up and shot a three. And he hit it. But it's a 25-point game. But it just lets you know the kind of confidence they're playing with. Another steal. This is getting ugly.
This game, I
throwing underhanded alley-oops to 6'2" guys.
I am not watching the rest of this game.
Yeah. I'm turning this off as soon as we off there.
Yeah,
because this is not it.
This is an all-star game now.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you, Frankie. Stay strong, brother. They're gonna bite some kneecaps and they're gonna get. Oh man, what? Damien, you've been on fire tonight. What's the scenario if they tie? Do we know? Because there've been a number of ties this year.
I think Seattle gets in.
If Seattle wins and they tie, Seattle gets in.
I think it's something like that. It's an odd team out.
I wouldn't be upset with that, to be honest. Like
I thought you went with Seattle on the last show, right? To get that last playoff spot.
I do. I think Detroit will win, but I think Seattle will win.
Okay.
Yeah. Seattle has the Rams, so
yeah. That's right.
I think they'll. If they don't, all that praise I gave Geno and Pete Carroll, you're going to have to dampen that a little bit.
Yeah, man,
they still had an incredible year. Still an incredible year. If you
did better than the Broncos.
I was about to say, I don't know who number 31 is, but he just on him.
That's Baby Joker.
Whoa, that was fun. What was I saying? I don't know. It's gone. That was an incredible dunk. It was an incredible dunk. We can keep it moving because we got a bunch of people to talk about. Hall of Fame. The finalists have been announced, and I don't always pay attention, but I'm gonna go out on a limb and say this is the deepest Hall of Fame NFL class we've had in a long time. Like, I'm gonna list these names, and is it 5 or 7? How many can get in? Does anybody know?
I think 7's the top.
Oh, thank you, Frankie. Yeah, Seattle is. Oh, the fact if you'd have told me as a betting man, Seattle would have had a better record than Denver, you would have got my money.
Yeah,
I picked Denver. I think I picked them to win the division. So
you did.
yeah. We'll get to the winners.
I know I did.
Yeah, I think you had them going a little far too, or something. I don't know. But we'll get to that after we discuss this aspect. Hall of Fame. I'm gonna read some names, and I think it's only 7 that get in. I'm trying to pull it up. Finalists. Is there a report? It's been revealed. They're giving me all these names. The modern era, 28 finalists. No, it does not say how many get picked in this article. So I'm not sure how many get picked, but I know all of them can't go. So we will see. But there are Darrelle Revis, Revis Island, Joe Thomas, 10 straight Pro Bowls as offensive lineman, Willie Anderson, another stout offensive lineman, Torry Holt, greatest show on turf. Y'all know what he represents. Reggie Wayne, we know what he represents, him and Marvin Harrison. Devin Hester, I think, is a tricky one. He's as great at his job and position as anybody on this list was at their job, but he was a kick returner. So I'll be curious to see how his votes go. Andre Johnson, dog, stuck in Houston and still did numbers. Jared Allen bounced around, still put up numbers. DeMarcus Ware, Super Bowl champion. You know what he represents. Zach Thomas, we talked about the Dolphins earlier. Dwight Freeney, Albert Lewis, probably he wanted to sit this one out. Ronde Barber, Patrick Willis, Darren Woodson are the group. So we're gonna narrow it down to 5. Chris, give me your 5 of who you would have making it out of that group.
Listen, I got you said the names, but I have to look at them again because if you talk about heavy hitters, I know Darrelle Revis is my one.
Okay.
Let me pull up this list because like all these guys, I feel like are good enough to be first ballot.
I agree.
I'm mad about one person that didn't make the final list, but I'll let y'all go.
Who that one person? Because I might agree with you.
Steve Smith Sr.
Oh, yep. All right.
If Torry Holt's up, it's hard for me to argue against Steve Smith. I will say that.
I got to pick 7 out of this list.
Nah, we're going 5, bro.
5.
All
right, Revis.
Okay.
This is no order though.
Cool.
Revis, DeMarcus Ware, Zach Thomas. Reggie and I'm stuck between P. Willie and Joe Thomas.
You got Reggie over Andre?
Reggie Wayne over Andre Johnson?
Yeah.
100%.
Okay. All right. So he's the best receiver in this class, in your opinion. Okay. It's hard. I can't really argue against it.
I might go Torry Holt for the 5th. It's tough. That's why I said it's tough.
Okay.
But I'm definitely going Reggie over Andre, though.
My issue with that is Reggie played with Marvin and Peyton. Andre played with some trash. And still did numbers.
You right.
I lean more Andre for that reason, but Reggie Wayne was same thing with Torry Holt. He played in a phenomenal system with a Hall of Fame quarterback.
But with those two guys, I've seen the work they put in, and there's no doubt in my mind they would have been the same caliber player if they had to do what Andre Johnson had to do.
Okay.
There's
I respect
no
it. I respect
now there's some guys that they put up decent numbers, but these guys just put up numbers, and the work backed it up, and they were consistent with it. It wasn't just a 3-year, it was throughout their entire career. It was consistent with it. So I gotta respect that. And they had the hardware.
That's facts. That's it. That's a big deal. Y'all know how I feel about rings. That's a big deal. Add Devin Hester to that conversation. Okay, we got your 5. Dev, Who's your 5?
I got like 6 because that Andre Johnson had conversation kind of put me in there. But yeah, also Vince Wolf.
That's a good one. Talk about hardware.
I got Devin Hester, Jared Allen, Zach Thomas, Joe Thomas, Darrelle Revis. And then, like I said, I got Andre Johnson for my 6.
Well, you ran through them a lot faster than I was ready for. Say them one more time.
Devin Hester,
okay,
Jared Allen, Zach Thomas, Joe Thomas, Darrelle Revis, and like I said, Andre Johnson would be my 6 if we was doing 6.
Ooh, that's a good 5. I like that 5. I'm gonna go Revis, Thomas, Joe Thomas, Darren Woodson, Andre, and give me Hester. Give me Devin Hester. So I got Revis, Woodson, Hester. Who else did I have? Johnson and Hester. And then next year they're gonna have to do this again, but I don't know who's up next year. But
they're gonna have to put Steve Smith Sr. back in there, Vince Wilfork back in there.
Yeah.
If Ronde Barber don't get in on this one.
I feel like my guy Asante deserves to get in. It's some guys that deserve to get in.
Asante's been out 5. Yeah, he was a man too. Him and Darrelle Revis was head to head is who was the best at one point.
You know Darrelle gonna be first ballot.
He better get in. He has a whole nickname, Revis Island. My locks should be Revis and Thomas. You can debate the rest. I think them two is good to go.
My locks will be
those are debated, but I felt like a guy like Zach Thomas is underrated. Did Hall of Fame numbers.
My issue with Thomas and Willis is injuries. They missed times in their careers was cut a little short.
But I think Zach Zach Thomas' career injuries came like later in his career though,
and we saw the dominance of him for at least. I feel
when
like
you start comparing them to Jared Allen, DeMarcus Ware.
I mean, to me, I'm looking at this list. Jared Allen might be 3rd on that list for me. Well, he's definitely not above DeMarcus Ware, in my opinion.
Jared Allen was my number 2.
Ware got the ring, and he was a big part of that ring. He wasn't just along for the ride.
Right.
Granted, Von Miller was obviously the man, but DeMarcus Ware was a huge piece too, because that Peyton Manning was trash at that point.
My locks is he most definitely is going to be Hester, Jared Allen.
You think Hester's a lock?
Yeah, because he did so much in that, and he did it on each level in the return game. He did a punt return. He did a kick return in the regular season. He did a punt return and a kick return in the postseason. I don't think he got no punt return in the Super Bowl.
Was it the Super Bowl or the NFC Championship game when he ran that back?
Super Bowl.
Was it? I thought so. So yeah, it's gonna be fun to see how they pick and choose. Because this, and also we limited it to 5. I'm not sure how many they limit it to. So if they go to like 10, then they're gonna get a ton.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's I'm not watching no Hall of Fame with 10 people that's talking because they be talking way too long.
No,
for my take.
Listen, they all had to get 2-minute speeches.
Yeah, because we don't have time for that. We got 10 minutes left.
You think Jared Allen is a lock over DeMarcus Ware, Dev?
Yes, because I think Jared Allen. I'm not discrediting DeMarcus Ware, but Jared Allen was on 2 franchises that wasn't that good, and he was still putting up numbers. The Kansas City Chiefs wasn't that good, and he was still putting up numbers. The Vikings was okay, but he was still putting up career numbers.
Okay.
Yeah, I think his numbers and sack totals are his stats, and I didn't pull up stats.
Their stats are real similar. I have it in front of me. It's only Ware has only 2.5 more sacks than him.
Oh, so he edged him out with the hardware. That's either one of them got a defensive player of the year. I think Jared Allen got one.
I think Jared Allen might got one.
Let me see.
I know Ware don't.
Yeah,
I'm
Jared
pretty
Allen
confident.
has one, and DeMarcus Ware. No, he just got 9 Pro Bowls, 4 All Pros, and the Hall of Fame 2000s team.
Actually, I don't know. Maybe Jared Allen didn't win one. I thought he did. They
No,
don't
Jared
have.
Allen won. They
I'm
say
not
he won
saying
in 2011, if I'm not mistaken.
okay. Maybe it's just not. And he, I'm
Yeah,
on
he won in 2011. 22 sacks. He won in 2011.
bet. Because I was gonna say he got a bunch of records. Safeties in the season league. He's led the league in sacks twice. Is tied for the record, and most career safeties tied for the record. So he got some other stuff, but and that
Yeah,
it's a player of the year is gonna be hard to look past. Cool. So we Chris, you've been talking about it, and at first it was like, yeah, people going off, cool. But now Lauri Markkanen's getting 49. And I'm not saying Lauri ain't good. Let me be clear. He's solid. But he shouldn't be getting about 50. So my question for y'all is what's happening in the NBA? Where are all these points coming from? Chris, I'll let you take us there. Take us through.
I think it's a mixture, right? So I think one, the talent in the league is at an all-time high. It's at an all-time high. I think also you look at a guy that's 7 foot that's shooting 5 to 7 threes a night. He look at the way guys are scoring literally on all 3 levels. Your best scorer on your team 9 times out of 10, unless it's a Giannis or somewhat of Embiid, is scoring at all 3 levels. So nobody's just limited to the paint like a Kareem was. No, guys are 7'2" shooting 3-pointers. Guys are getting 12, 13 free throws a night, shooting mid ranges, dunking. I look at the pace of the game. And yes, a little bit you could say defense. I don't think defense is the number one factor. I still think we have some guys that play defense, but when guys are dribbling and shooting from 30, step backs, all these crazy type of shots, I mean, it's not the easiest to defend. So I still think we have some defenders, but the offense is at an all-time high right now. And I think that's why we're seeing guys score like this. But as you see, especially when we get to the playoffs, and especially when teams start to really, I think, care about defense, we don't see these scoring type of nights unless they're coming from your superstars. So I feel like the talent's all time high in the NBA. Sometimes you've seen teams coast. There's a lot of bad defensive teams in the league, but I don't think there's no more defense in the NBA. I still think we have some talented defenders that could defend at a very high level. And Damian, that's the first thing you said all night that was wrong. Victor Cruz should be in the Hall of Fame. Here comes the troll again.
Yeah, you lost me. You lost me. But
no.
Dev, you said you had some thoughts on what's going on with the scoring.
First of all, shout out to everybody that's working on that offensive game, because I saw you really see if you go on social media is everybody's putting in their work, whether it's with Chris Brickley, whether it's with their personal trainers. So that's start off with that, giving these guys, they're actually going into the lab working on their game. And I honestly think it's not a good team defense. You might have good individual defenses here and there, but as far as the team defense, I don't think you see a lot of good of that anymore. It's just, I'm not trying to say like Larry Markkinen shouldn't be scoring 40, but it's like what's the chances of you hearing your these I guess you can say not top players in the league, not our favorite top players in the league, because he might be somebody's favorite top player, but that's scoring 40. Back in the early 2000s, you wouldn't believe that Robert always scored 40, or any person that's not your star player to be averaging 40 now. So now that you can have your top bench score might be averaging 40, or your third best score on the team can average 40 now. You know what I mean? So I just think it's not a good team defense game anymore. I just think there's a lot of individuals, and if you can beat an individual defense, then if you can beat your man one-on-one, because that's what sometimes it comes down to, who's the best one-on-one player. And if you have this, if your skills or your height is better than your opponent, then you might easily average up in the 30s and 40s.
Yeah. So I agree with a lot of what y'all said. I'll ask this question. Is this good for basketball? This offensive assault and really lack of defense. Granted, the Nuggets are up 66-29 and it's almost halftime, but generally speaking, people are scoring a lot of points. Is that good for basketball?
To me, no. Because I don't wear the competitiveness at. You know what I mean? It just looked like Denver is the better team, but if you go into the standings and the stats, you will put the Clippers as a top 6 seed in the Western Conference. So I just think that like I said, it's just no good team defense to me. It's all about individual.
So I've been trying to read through some stuff before we get out of here. It's some Dana White coverage, and there's a report. I'm gonna go through a couple things. There are a report that ESPN employees informed to hold off on incendiary comments. Is a report by Drake Riggs, and I mentioned Ye earlier. Obviously, I'm a fan, but I don't know if you guys remember or followed it closely. But the main person that was telling people to drop him was this guy named Ari Emanuel, and that's when he lost like everything. Balenciaga, everybody cut ties. The irony here is he called for that because of the infamous tweet about going DEFCON 3. And we're not going to waste a lot of time on that. The curious part to this is he owns UFC and can fire Dana White. He has refused to comment up until this point. And again, this happened on New Year's Eve or on January 5th. So my question is, and then there was an ex-MMA fighter who was charged with the death of a girlfriend in Mexico. I don't know if you guys followed that story. It kind of popped up. So do we think it's true that ESPN has informed people not to have incendiary comments? And 2, why wouldn't someone fire Dana White for that offense if you cost somebody $2 billion for a tweet? It's just commentary at this point. Dev, your opinion.
Chris said it earlier, man. Puppets. You know what I mean? Of course they're gonna be like, hey, don't say nothing about this. And people gonna be like, all right, we ain't gonna say nothing about it. You know, they gotta protect their brand, protect their career. So that's 1. And 2, what was the second part again?
If the tweet was so hateful that everybody was supposed to cut ties, why are you quiet now?
Told you, man. He hit people up in that cash app. He told you, be quiet, man. NDA, be quiet. You know what I mean? Here's a couple bands, and I'm gonna need you to just go ahead and hush real quick until we can dial this down, until we put it underneath the carpet. That's the only solution I got from it.
Very interesting. I was reading some news articles, and more people are starting to ask questions. Oh, I did confirm no charges have been filed against Dana White, so that's why we have no
money.
Yeah, no mugshot. We have no mugshot because no charges were filed. I don't know how you don't file charges in a situation. Apparently, Dana White came out and has apologized and said that he and his wife have apologized to each other, and he still stands by there's never a time when a man should put his hand on a woman. So
why you did it?
There was a lot of alcohol involved, he also said, but that's no excuse, he also said.
Okay, that was very right. That was very right situation too.
Right. And he lost his job and his career. So I'll be waiting and I'll be watching. Chris, did you have any thoughts before we wrap up?
I mean, like I said earlier, ESPN is telling their guys not to make any reports because the UFC has that relationship with ESPN. So they talk down about UFC it's only going to hurt ESPN's pockets. So I'm not surprised at all. Do I think it's right? Absolutely not. I mean, if this is any other person, this would be on the front page. If this is any other owner of any other league, any other prominent sports figure, this would be the first thing to be talked about with the video, you know. But it's Dana, it's the UFC, it's ESPN. They're going to try to keep it as quiet as possible. And it doesn't have to be a big controversial story. It's just, but the fact that it's not being talked about is crazy.
Another person that in that similar field that we didn't cover a lot was Vince McMahon, and he kind of unceremoniously disappeared after his incident with women. And I just read a report that says he's plotting a return to WWE.
I hope he does not come back and ruin what's about to be great. I stepped out of WWE. I came back only because I know what it is now is great storytelling, and I watch it every now and then. But if he comes back, he's going to ruin a great product. Listen, be gone. Deuces. You left, don't come back. Especially if everything that came out is true.
Yeah,
don't come back.
His sexual allegations was kind of messy for real.
No, he talking about he received bad news. He shouldn't have left. No, when something like that happens, you step down, especially when you have a contingency plan, which is the guys you trust to come out and take over.
Facts. And Damian, I saw his name was trending. I didn't know why. So prayers out to Peyton Hillis.
Oh man, you talking about a guy that went on a crazy run? Prayers out to him.
The Madden curse got him back when that was a thing, but he had a run. He did have a run. So definitely we're praying for him and his son, who he saved from drowning. So definitely prayers to that. Not want to end the show there. Thanks, Damian. But I do appreciate you sharing because we did want to report on that. So covered a lot. We didn't really talk much basketball. We'll get into the All-Star voting and things like that. Kenny asked us to hold off on some of that talk. So I hope he's here on Monday. I'm not gonna bring up why he missed this past Monday because that wasn't real, but we expect to see you on Monday if you're still watching. You probably went to sleep. You know how old people be. I ain't seen him in the comments in a while. It's probably past his bedtime. That's why he don't know Steph is a point guard. He can't stay up late enough to watch him.
He's gonna see it tomorrow morning though.
he making assumptions based on highlights. He don't be staying up to watch the game. You know them eyelids ain't strong enough to stay awake. But nah, definitely shout out to Kenny. We miss you, man. Hopefully we get you back. Chris he said he's gonna be on camera. He's going back to school. So hopefully you enjoyed your break. Be safe in your travels when you do got to go back. And hopefully you have a great semester academically, and just keep evolving and growing.
Sir, bring us that degree home, baby.
Yes, sir. Let's take ASAP out of here. So they start paying me and I can retire. They got all these kids. I don't know if I asked, what is your major in, Chris?
Mass communications.
Oh, so this works. So you put this on your resume, bro.
It's there. Trust me.
Yes, sir. You need a letter of recommendation. Just let me know. Strong black man over here. But man, this was a blast. Oh, here come Ken. Oh, he is awake, ladies and gentlemen. He is.
Kenny's up.
Hey, coach.
What y'all not gonna do is disrespect me.
No, he just woke up.
He just woke
You can hear it in his voice.
Dude,
Somebody woke him up
from a game. Some of us actually work in basketball and not talk about it.
Oh yeah, I know. Some of us just pick games right, know what they're talking about, but it's cool.
Who woke you up, coach? Somebody was like, Pop, they talking about you, Pop.
They said the guy with the red shirt. Actually, since we've been doing clothes, support black colleges, ladies and gentlemen.
Of course.
Yes, sir.
You can't tell me what.
Yeah. Oh, now we're here. Happy Founders Day to all the noobs out there. I don't know if anybody here is or knows any, but shout out to them. Happy Founders Day to them as well. But yeah, it's been a pleasure. It's been a riot. Appreciate y'all. Kenny, go back to sleep. It's okay. We made it without you this time, but hopefully we'll see you on Monday.
Yeah, I'll be back to educate next week.
Ooh.
This is the Kenny I like. This is the shots fired after hours.
Hey, Kenny, let me tell you this. Y'all better not lose to Sam Howell. I'll tell you that. Y'all come out and let Sam Howell beat y'all and y'all not get the 1 seed. We're going to have something to talk about. Y'all should blow us out.
Yeah, I'll let you know this now. If the Eagles don't get the 1 seed, you're going to see me. I need the big screen. I need 5 minutes to talk.
Yeah, I was going to say, Chris, if
I might burn a jersey live on camera
from y'all or win the division from y'all, that Miami collapse was bad, but this one.
This is worse. This is by far worse.
But for what it's worth, to a certain extent, and Gardner Minshew is probably similar to Nick Foles. Y'all had a situation where you had an MVP candidate get hurt right before the end of the year.
Yeah,
it turned out pretty good.
And Nick Foles showed me something. Gardner Minshew showed me absolutely nothing in these past 2 games. The fact that I see why he's not a starting quarterback.
But Nick Foles wasn't lights out in the last 2 games. He was good, but that playoff run was legendary. Maybe Minshew Mania, he can, maybe. Y'all should have heard back though.
I'm letting you know now. Listen, if Minshew's my starting quarterback in the playoffs, I'm not betting on my Eagles. Tell you that. And
that 1 seed gets that bye. That's huge.
That's crucial. We need it. Dallas don't need it.
So we're gonna see. But y'all have a great evening. We will be back on Monday at 9. I'm pretty sure. Let me check. I don't think I have nothing. I should be here all month. Next month, I'm gonna be gone a little bit. This month should be good. Don't got nothing planned. So it'll be a blast. We'll recap. We'll start the playoff conversation. We'll have the all-star conversation. A lot of good stuff to get to. Hopefully Daniel White gets charged by then, but I won't hold my breath.
Let's go, Javonte.
Oh, yeah.
Javonte.
Dang. We here. I'll run through them quick. Everybody got Davis, or anybody see an upset coming?
I got Davis.
I got Davis. Sixth round.
Oh, you did say that. Boots Ennis is also fighting. He said once he moves on, he wants Errol Spence next. He believes they can make that fight happen, since apparently Errol don't want to fight Terrence Crawford at this point, as far as what I can tell from what I've heard reported.
You talk about a letdown. We might have to talk about that on Monday.
Yeah,
we can get into it, because that, like I said, let Ennis win this, because I think he should. I'm a huge fan of his.
I'm rooting for Ennis also.
Same.
I looked again today. The ticket prices was just a little too steep. It was like $750.
Yep.
And 1,000 for the floor. And I got my kid's birthday Sunday. We just had Christmas. I'm going out of the country. Like, I just can't. I can't.
My birthday coming up next Friday, so I ain't.
Hey, well, you gonna get all your money back. All that money you spent, you can get it back. Maybe.
Hopefully. Let's see. Hope somebody loves me.
Quality and all that, right?
Hope somebody loves me.
Hopefully, but we do.
FanDuel give you $100 free parlay.
I'm not gonna buy you nothing, but I do care about it.
That's cool. Hey, I take the shout out.
Yeah. I'll give you advice, and Ray Stradamus knows, so you can take that to the bank.
This guy.
All right. Y'all have a blast. Have a good one. We are out. Until next time.
Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays.